Hey everyone, my name is Lauren McCullough and I'm co-founder and CEO of Trommel, and welcome back to Sell More Parts Faster. This is a free online course that's specifically designed for e-commerce sellers in the automotive industry so you can have a better, more refined sales strategy to sell more parts faster. If you've been watching any of our previous courses, you've noticed we've been talking a lot about really having a refined online sales strategy. A lot of this starts with what we discussed in episode 1, which is understanding who you're selling to, what they're actually buying, and why they're buying it from you. And the way we're able to do this is by really understanding our customer. And if you watched our previous video or our recently posted YouTube video, we've posted both a structure for how to conduct an effective customer interview and then also an example with another auto parts seller, specifically a mock interview for me to understand how this person can better target their online customers. Today, we're going to take this to the next level and help you understand how to find your forced customers. Now, if you're an existing seller, this is still going to be directly applicable to you, because you might be needing to change the way you're targeting customers. So you still need to refine these strategies over time. Or if you're a new business, really understanding how to start ramping and getting more clients in your online store, this is going to directly speak to the strategies you need to start deploying today. When you're building out your customer development process, it's important to be careful of some common pitfalls. One of the first ones that I want to talk about is a really common mistake that I've seen a lot of sellers make this year. And that's because historically, as an e-commerce seller, we've needed to be data-driven. And we think about being data-driven, we think about quantitative data-driven decisions. And don't get me wrong, I believe in the importance of data. I built an entire platform on it. However, it's important in the early days that you understand the importance of qualitative feedback. In your early days, you can't just look at Google Analytics and build Mixpanel and pull all this data together. There's so much more that you need to understand about your customers. This is not going to come across in these metrics, especially as you're trying to drive traffic. Because in the early days of your business, you may not be driving hundreds of thousands of customers to your website. What matters is that you're driving the right few. One of the other things you need to be very careful about as an e-commerce seller in 2024 is the role that confirmation bias is playing in your decision making. We all like to be right. We all think we understand who our customers are. And sometimes that confidence makes us a little cocky and actually causes us to put blinders on some very important insights that we can gain. You should always be approaching building your business as if you're trying to prove yourself wrong, not right. Now, this is incredibly important because you're trying to validate your assumptions with the aspect that you might not know more about your customer than what you need to know to be successful. Another common mistake that I see a lot of e-commerce sellers make is that they're not getting diverse feedback. When you're conducting a customer discovery interview, you're going to often go to a market that you specifically think you're going to sell to. But just because you notice a problem in a specific market doesn't mean it's the right market. If you referenced our video back on customer discovery, specifically where we talked to billet tie downs, you recognize that he was speaking to me as someone who had a lot of camping experience, and I was able to speak to that. And so maybe when I talked about my problems as a camper, he would have continued to go to more people that are outdoor enthusiasts. However, when we reframed this as my role as a small business owner with a work truck that was sometimes carrying hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment at a time, all of a sudden you recognize how much the problem escalated. If you do not get diverse feedback, you might not recognize that there's not a better customer for you out there with better messaging that's much easier to target online. Another common risk that I see a lot of sellers make is premature scaling. Again, you get a couple good validation points, you make a few sales, and you continue to double down. But that's not always effective. You need to be mindful that you may not be ready to scale your sales process. This gets, again, back to the importance of customer development over sales. You're continuing to learn from your customers and really understanding what metrics you need to see to make sure that you're actually ready to pull gas on whatever sales strategy that you've developed. Similar to premature scaling is the overassumption that you have achieved product market fit. Now, it's important to remember, the product as an e-commerce seller that you're selling is typically not the products on your website. It's how customers are experiencing your products, how they're experiencing you as a brand. And so just because you've got those sales, you might assume you have product market fit and again, start scaling your sales process. But all of these come down to the fact that you cannot do this too fast and have that overassumption, or else you're going to get stuck in the chasm where many companies die. If this video is helpful, go ahead and give us a like. And if you've run into any specific pitfalls within your business, please leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to personally respond. In our next video, we're going to talk about building a sales process so you can understand how to take these critical learnings and start incorporating them into your day-to-day practices.